The elevator that doesn't go to any floor. The first time Daniel noticed something was wrong with the elevator, it was already too late to turn back. He worked nights at a downtown office building that emptied out after 9 p.m. By 1:30 a.m., the place was dead quiet. Just him, the hum of fluorescent lights, and the slow crawl of time. When his shift ended, he headed for the elevators like he always did. Only one was waiting. The door stood open, lights on inside, silent. Daniel pressed the ground button. The door slid shut. The elevator didn't move. "Come on," he muttered, tapping the button again. Nothing. Then the panel flickered. A new button lit up beneath the others. No label. Just a dull red glow. Daniel frowned. The building had 20 floors, no basements besides the parking garage. The unlabeled button blinked once. The elevator doors opened. The hallway outside was not his building. The walls were narrower, the ceiling lower, painted a sickly yellow. The air smelled damp, like old concrete and rust. At the far end of the corridor, another elevator waited. Its doors were already open. Daniel stepped out slowly. The doors behind him slid shut with a soft ding. He turned. The elevator panel beside him was blank. No buttons, no display. His phone had no signal. "Hello?" he called. His voice echoed too much. He walked toward the second elevator, heart pounding. As he approached, he noticed scratch marks around the door frame, deep ones, hand-shaped. Inside, the panel was identical to the first, except now the red button had a label. "You deserve." Daniel laughed nervously. "This isn't funny." The doors closed on their own. The elevator began to descend. Fast. The numbers on the display didn't count down. They scrambled. Letters replaced them. Larthy F, coward. The walls seemed to press inward. Daniel slammed the emergency button. Nothing. "Stop!" he shouted. The elevator slowed, then stopped with a violent jolt. The doors creaked open. He was no longer alone. The floor beyond was a vast, dark space lit by flickering overhead lights. Figures stood scattered throughout, dozens of people, all facing away from him. "Hey!" Daniel called. None of them moved. He stepped out. The elevator doors closed behind him. That's when the figures began to turn. Their faces were wrong. Hollow eyes, slack mouths, skin stretched too tight, each face twisted into expressions of guilt, fear, and regret. Daniel stumbled backward. They spoke at once. "You took what wasn't yours. You watched and did nothing. You knew better." Daniel covered his ears, screaming. The lights flickered, and the figures rushed forward. He ran blindly through the darkness, sobbing, until he tripped and fell hard onto concrete. Silence. He opened his eyes. He was back in the elevator. The panel was normal again. The doors opened to the lobby. Morning sunlight poured in. Daniel staggered out, shaking, tears streaming down his face. Security found him an hour later, curled up in a corner, refusing to speak. The building manager reviewed the footage. The elevator never moved. Daniel entered, stood still for 3 minutes, then collapsed. But every night since, the security system records something else. At 1:30 a.m., the elevator opens on its own, and a new unlabeled button lights up, waiting